Hello, this is DeadEndRoad TV, and I'm your host, Roget, and joining me today is, like always, is Bill.
Hey, how's it going?
Today will be the first ever episode of the DeadEndRoad TV creature feature?
Yeah,
Creature
th-
stream?
that untitled Dead End Road Monster podcast, cryptid podcast. Yeah, we
We will
don't.
figure out a name.
Yeah, we're working on that.
And if you have any suggestions, help us out.
Yeah, please do.
Alright, so today's first episode will be about the amazing, most, I guess, well-known cryptid of them all, the Mothman.
Yeah, classic American cryptid.
So basically, the Mothman is a cryptid that lives in an area around the Point Pleasant, West Virginia area. It is described as being a human-bird hybrid, larger than a normal man. Its wingspan supposedly reaches about 10 feet and is a gray in color with red glowing eyes. Yeah. The Mothman was seen during a period from November 1966 to December 1967, culminating in the collapse of the Silver Bridge. A disaster that is linked to the Mothman, and some people like to say that he caused it. Some people say he was only there to warn people about it, but who really knows?
Yeah, the story's pretty interesting if you dive into it. There was a bunch of people that were digging a grave, and they claimed to have seen this man like bird creature fly low below the trees. And then a few days later, a young couple claimed to see a large bird creature with glowing red eyes. And then more and more people just saw it, even including 2 volunteer firemen over the next few days saw it. So it was just this weird phenomena, this span of a week where a ton of people saw some kind of creature in the Point Pleasant area. And it was just either a lot of coincidences or people just getting it into their heads that they saw this, this creature out there in the woods. Yeah.
Just scoping the scene. It's crazy. It's imagine you are the Mothman and you're like, yo, I know this is about to fall and I'm trying to warn everyone, but I'm too freaky looking to warn anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because as a human, you're going to be like, what the hell is this thing?
Yeah,
What is it? It's so huge and it's flying and has big red eyes.
Yeah, but at the same time, the connections between the two, the only link seems to be that it was just 2 odd events that happened close enough to each other.
So people want to collide them. We'll put them together.
Right, yeah, the sightings of the Mothman were in November 1967, and then the Silver Bridge collapsing, which was a huge deal. It killed 46 people. That happened the following month in December. So that's about it. And I don't necessarily think that a creature, even say this Mothman was real. Say the Mothman's real, right? And it's got the wingspan that's 10 feet is the
Yeah. About 10 feet.
Is the mythos that he's intelligent and so that he was able to cause the bridge collapse, or that he's powerful enough to cause the bridge collapse?
Did he? I mean, I know moths eat clothes, but the bridge is metal, so unless he has a metal diet,
right? Yeah, how did he cause the bridge to collapse, and did he do it intentionally, or was it just something that? Yeah, it doesn't connect.
Doesn't really add up.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid saying it, but yeah, thank you.
I'm not gonna lie. I took my chance. I'm like, this is the moment to say it.
You had to get it in. Yeah, it's too enticing not to. But yeah, I don't see the connection necessarily between the two.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's just a coincidence that they both happen to be going around the same time, and then it gives, you know what it is. I think also in a time of crisis, people look for things to make things sound and seem normal.
Right,
So
yeah.
they're like the bridge collapse. You know what? We're blaming Mothman.
Yeah, you need something to explain the tragedy, instead of it just being, you know,
Just a tragedy.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Something had to have caused it. Like, why else would the death of 46 people just randomly have happened?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Um,
Yeah, personally, I don't think the Mothman caused it.
yeah, I don't see why. And if he was trying to warn us, I don't necessarily think that him appearing is a good enough of a warning
Right?
to, yeah.
Because it's just going to ensue panic. Because they're like, oh my god, there's a giant moth creature in the sky that's bigger than me. Hopefully he doesn't swoop down and grab me. Yeah, so I feel bad for Mothman if he was trying to help people out. Don't judge a book by its cover, folks. He might be trying to do you a solid and help you out.
I'm looking at the notes I have on the actual bridge itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the time of construction, the bridge has been built for they were aiming for it to last to up to 100 years. It was a suspension bridge,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it collapsed during rush hour traffic. And the collapse is like as I mentioned, it killed 46 people. Two of the victims were never found. It was that was how bad the damage was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and analysis showed that it was carrying much heavier loads than it had been originally designed for, and its maintenance was like just awful. It was not maintained properly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
So it's people's fault that the bridge collapsed.
maybe that's what he was
Not the
trying
Mothman.
to warn us about.
Like, yo, you guys aren't doing a good job doing keeping up on this bridge. I'm a bridge inspector, and I'm trying to let you guys know this bridge is not built for capacity.
That's what the red eyes symbolize. That's that you got to look at this damn bridge. Look with your
You got a
eyes.
failing grade on this bridge.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I guess they could hire him as a bridge inspector. He'd be able to cover a lot of ground real fast.
Right, yeah.
He could hit the high and low points, see what's wrong with the bridges.
Yeah, I'd say put him to work. What else is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, give him a
What
job.
else is he doing out there?
He probably doesn't want pay. Just give him some food. And just like let him do his thing.
Yeah, give him a sheep to eat or whatever Mothmen eat.
Yeah.
I don't know what they eat.
Speculation he likes to eat German shepherds.
Oh, okay.
But
That's
yeah, right.
all right.
So I don't think dog people will like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta stop reading the specs on this bridge
Uh-huh.
because it's just
Right. Yeah, I don't know how a creature would be able to knock down a bridge. It was just probably just a crappily built bridge
Yeah, that's what
that
it
just
seems
had
to
too
be.
much going on.
Yeah.
I mean, then I guess besides the whole bridge incident, people like to link the Mothman to aliens.
Yeah, they link it to like UFO sightings and abductions and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it seems to be the whole thing that not only the sightings that popularized like the legend, it was this uh, quote unquote nonfiction book
Mm-hmm.
by this dude John Keel in 1975, The Mothman Prophecies,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it claimed that there were supernatural events related to the sightings. And he was the dude. Oh, okay. So he's the dude that claimed that there was a connection between the Mothman and the bridge collapse. So that's where it came
Goddamn
from.
John Keel.
I
I
see.
bet if we do our research, he probably invested in that bridge.
Yeah. Have the insurance money going.
Right? He's
And
like,
then the
what's a
book,
good scapegoat?
Escape Moth.
Right, Escape Moth. You're right.
And then the book was later turned into a movie in 2002, The Mothman Prophecies, starring Richard Gere. Huh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Might have to scope that out.
Right. I've seen like one Mothman movie,
Yeah,
and it was on Sci-Fi,
of course.
which if it's on Sci-Fi, it's normally just gonna be a really bad movie.
Right, yeah.
But that's Sci-Fi's things. It's a bad movie, but it's good. Notorious for like those crappy good movies like Sharknado and other sorts. But I remember it was like they gave the Mothman. I mean, of course, he was complete crap looking CGI. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Sci-fi movies,
Yeah.
But he had like a weird power. Like if you look in the mirror, he could appear there, and he'd open his mouth, and he can absorb you. I'm like, what is this nonsense? That is nothing like the Mothman.
So he had weird, like, Bloody Mary powers?
Basically,
Weird.
and they like kind of combined it with some native history. Like, don't go into this land in West Virginia. It's cursed. And I'm just like,
I
it already sounds like a failing movie.
Yeah. I think they wanted to connect the whole, like, big eyes thing to, like, some kind of, like, visual power, you know what I mean?
Basically.
Because, Mothman is a demon slash persona in SMT and Persona games, and he has, like, usually some sort of, like, paralysis or, like, powers based around, like, either vision or almost like Medusa kind of thing. Because there are other demons that have similar abilities, so he has those too. So I think that's what they're trying to get at with the mirror thing. So you have to like look at him. But yeah,
So he can put you like, cause like apparently like I know people have stated if you really look into his eyes, like he can like put you under paralysis, like he causes confusion, extreme fear, and psychological distress.
right, yeah,
Like can last months. That lead to death or insanity, so it's not that bad.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
I mean, I know he's another game he's appeared in, Fallout 76,
yeah,
a game that I will not touch,
of
but
course, right,
I know like he has like powers with his eyes too, like you know what I mean. He can send energy bolts from his eyes.
yeah.
And honestly, that was the only reason why I wanted Fallout 76 is because he was in that game.
Yeah, the only reason to like even check the game out is to like actually explore the environment and check out like the actual West Virginia, you know, setting and lore, and of course the Mothman has to be a part of that. So it was good that they didn't ignore that, because that would have been yet another negative on that game's reputation. So
Right, I feel like that would have been a missed shot if they would have just like avoided the Mothman entirely in that game, but good thing they didn't.
Yeah, but it's also Fallout, so like you have to have crazy creatures and mutations and things like that. So having a cryptid, you know, it makes complete sense, and giving it a reason to exist, like that it's, you know, some sort of radiation creature. You know, why the hell not? Like, yeah.
Well, I did like they kept a lot of his lore in Fallout 76 that I seen, because I was like, researching, like
Sure.
gotta do the research on the Mothman and all that type of stuff, and then see like other pop culture references he's in. But apparently they kept a lot of the lore really close to the Mothman in Fallout 76. I mean, they added their own little twist and their own little stories, but they kept a lot of it real. They even had the Mothman Museum, like a legit thing in Fallout 76.
That's actually pretty cool. Nice.
So I'm like, you know what? I give Fallout 76 kudos for that.
Yeah.
You did one thing right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the environment, it did seem researched enough. Like, that was the one thing that, you know, potentially would draw me to the game, would be the environment and the world. But, yeah, still not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it, guys.
But yeah, like moving back to the whole UFO thing, apparently like Russian UFO, like, people, sort of conspiracy people, they claim
Mm-hmm.
that Mothman sightings in Moscow foreshadowed a 1999 Russian apartment bombing.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, so people get into their heads that, like, if they see some sort of creature that, resembles what you think of as the Mothman, it's gonna foreshadow just like
Some type of
some
tragedy.
kind of tragic event, which is weird because there are like the whole idea of birds are just like weird omens for things. If you go like back
Mm-hmm.
through history and literature, um, if
Mm-hmm.
you look at like Julius Caesar and things like that, like birds are such a symbolic omen of like impending doom. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you ever hear of like a bird hitting a window is like a big omen of
Mm-hmm.
like something awful about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, this isn't necessarily funny, but like, well, it's the opposite of funny, really. But
Yeah.
it's funny in like that, like, oh, isn't that weird kind of way, not haha funny.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
me and Tori were in my old room, and like a really large bird like smacked my window, and we both saw it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and a week later we had a death in the family. So it's just like
Oh.
so like it's weird how things tend to happen.
Uh.
But so people just find connections like that. Um,
No, I get it. Was the bird dead after it ran, like, flew into your window?
uh, I don't know. I don't think we actually bothered to go look
Uh-huh.
because it was
You're
on the
like,
second floor and like there were tons of birds.
you're
Um,
like dumb
but it was
birds.
just like such a loud bang. Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was pretty crazy. Um,
That would explain the one time me and her were leaving the house and there was a dead bird on the porch and she was freaking out. She was like, I feel like something bad's about to happen. I'm like,
yeah.
I just think a cat's just leaving us a treat.
Well,
Just because
also
he's just doing us a solid.
Also, she's just freaked out by birds in general.
Yeah, no, she hates them.
Yeah. So,
Does not like birds.
but that also probably didn't help the fact that that happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Where it gave her bad thoughts like, oh no, I hope something
yeah.
doesn't
But
happen.
that's funny
I'm like,
that she
I
likes
just
the
thought it was a
Mothman
cat.
though.
Mm-hmm. She likes Mothman but hates birds. I mean, but like,
Yeah.
he's a moth.
I know, but like he looks like a damn owl.
Yeah, yeah, true.
And people think it's just like a big barn owl that people are seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, that or some type of crane, which makes no sense. I'm like, wait, so the Mothman has like a 10 foot wide like wingspan. He's and supposedly like they say he's like sometimes like 6 to 7 feet tall. How are you expecting a 3 to foot like 4 foot crane to be the Mothman? You're like, oh, I mean, it has like red markings around its eyes. That might explain the glowing red eyes. I'm like, red markings is different than red glowing eyes.
I think they're just thinking of any bird that like has a big wingspan that could be mistaken for it. And
Mm-hmm.
cranes I think they can have a really big wingspan. So,
Yeah, but I feel like if you could tell the difference between like a moth-like creature and a crane, because a crane has a very pointy beak. You know what I
sure,
mean?
yeah, but I mean, if it's like
How do
in
you miss
flight,
the
something
beak?
enormous in the dark,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's the same thing as like the Jersey Devil. Like people, like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of descriptions of the Jersey Devil, like just kind of seem like a bird to me.
Uh huh.
Like just like just a creature like out in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. Like
Mm-hmm.
just seems like a bird like moving through the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it seems more owl like to me than something like a crane for sure. Um,
Yeah, they do always associate like the Mothman and owls a lot to each other. But then that also rings back to the alien thing where people always associate the Mothman and owls and aliens all together.
yeah, it's something with like the big eyes, like
Big
that
round
the
eyes.
round
Yeah.
eyes and the round head.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe it's something just that it's like inhuman, you
Mm-hmm.
know, something that's because if you think of like something that's like more like a mammal, you can see something human about it, but like
Yeah.
if it's like more like avian, like a bird, or like the further away it gets from being a human, the creepier it is and more
True.
alien
True.
and foreign.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's got something to do with it.
That's why they always associate it together.
Yeah. And if you think about like even in the original story, like the couple that like one of the first people to potentially have seen the Mothman, they said that it was like reflecting their car headlights. And so it's got like it's reflecting this artificial light, which would be something that would be like alien and foreign and inhuman,
True.
um,
True.
like an alien with like a some kind of beam or something technological or something like that. Um, but yeah, I just think it's funny that this very American thing, like these Russians thought that they saw it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of creatures like have like are like rooted in cultural myths and things like that, like chupacabra or the Yeti,
Mm-hmm.
like all those kinds of things. It's like folk
They
tales.
stay in their area.
Yeah, it's like folk tales and fairy tales and things like that. Like they grow up with the culture and it's like things that you tell the
Mm-hmm.
children. But then you have this thing that's like very American, like out in the mountains of West Virginia. It's like the
Mm-hmm.
only American sort of like truly American folk tale. And then and
Mm-hmm.
then these weird Russian UFO people are like, "Oh yeah, we saw it too." It's
Yeah.
like like what?
And how I will put that down is like Russia's very cold, correct? It's a very cold
Yeah,
place.
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Moths can't survive in the cold. Moths die in the cold. And I don't think Mothman's built for the cold. He likes the woods where it's warm in America.
Like yeah, like not even like something close, like maybe like the edge of Canada or something, like on the border or something. It's
Mm-hmm.
like no,
No.
no, no, we saw it in Moscow. Like what?
Yeah. Other side of the planet. He's just chilling. I mean, so does that mean there's multiple Mothmen out there? Or Moth ladies, you know?
Yeah,
But
is he like populating? Like what's he yeah. What's
is
he up
there a
to?
secret, like, organization of Mothmen getting ready to take over and they're just all over the world?
Yeah, does the Mothman man lay eggs?
Or are they just, like, popped out? Like, just little baby Mothmen
Right.
already?
Yeah, the
Could we
physiology of the
survive a
Mothman
Mothman
is
invasion? It's pretty intense.
confusing. Hmm.
Could we survive a Mothman invasion?
Um. Well, if it's anything like Persona, he's weak to gun, so I think we're okay.
You know what? I have the perfect plan. We just make a giant lamp. A giant lamp,
There
like
you go.
20 feet tall. And we put it in the center of plaza. And we'll attract all the Mothmen and we'll set up a trap.
No, but see, here's the confusing thing. Moths are attracted to the light, but according to the original couple that shined their headlights at it, he was afraid of the light.
Dun dun dun.
So, what do we do? Do we try
Oh
to
no.
force it away with the light, or would we try to attract it with the light?
Maybe this is why he's the Mothman, because he's smarter than his other Moth brethren, and he realized, yo, light's not good. Light is bad.
Yeah, yeah,
So he evolved.
yeah. You'd think like the red eyes would like filter out some of the light
Hmm.
because like I have a cat and his eyes are blue, and so he's more receptive to light than other cats are. So and also he can't see in the dark nearly as well, just because of the
Hmm.
type of cat he is. So I wonder if the red eyes like filter out the light so he can see
Hmm.
better in the dark. Hmm.
We're just gonna have to catch a Mothman and just ask him these
I think
questions.
so. I think that's the plan now. Hmm.
I know, and then I know like in West Virginia, he's very popular. He has his own museum. They celebrate him down there, and like your sister Tori, she went down. She actually went to the Mothman Museum
That's
last
right.
year,
Yeah.
and she took a couple pictures, brought some gear back, and she said it was really nice. They have a giant silver robot like statue of the Mothman in the middle of the plaza. And apparently there's a pizzeria that has like they have a Mothman pizza that you can get and order.
What the hell's on that?
Apparently a lot of toppings. Like there isn't a random assortment of toppings, but of course the pepperonis have to be the eyes.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
I assume like a bunch of olives to
Hmm.
like shape him out.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
We'll most definitely have to do a trip down there. Check it out.
That'd be fun.
Apparently that's the only thing down there in West Virginia to do is go to the Mothman Museum though.
Yeah.
Apparently there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Like where everyone else is like, man, my town is boring. People in West Virginia. I mean, we got the Mothman Museum. Nothing else.
Yeah, especially now, you know.
Yeah, right. Oh, they must be really bored because you can't even go outside. You can't go to the museum. Is the Mothman quarantined right now? Is he staying in the cave? Can he be affected by COVID-19?
Well, some UFO people claim that he's being stored in a military storage site, so he might be okay.
Oh, real? He might be okay. Good.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure he's well taken care of. He has a mask on and everything, and he's not going to get sick or infected.
Yeah.
Should have stormed Area 51 last year. Could have probably seen a Mothman.
I don't know. How would he do out in the desert?
True. Is it too hot for him?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he could use his like wings as like a way to give himself shade if he opens them up.
That's true.
I don't know, man. They just force it. I mean, but then there's Area 52, the lesser known one, the less popular one. That's in Ohio, which is a lot closer to West Virginia, so you could be at that one.
Man.
We're asking these real questions.
Yeah. But who's going to provide the answers? That's the real issue.
Right? We get a knock on the door, and there's some guys in black suits with black glasses on, like, yo, we heard you asking questions about the Mothman, and we don't really appreciate
You're asking
that.
too many questions.
The people don't need to know this.
Too many questions.
We find out the Mothman's pulling all the strings secretly.
There were 55 sightings in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh.
You know what? I'm surprised no one has seen the Mothman this year for how 2020 is going. Has someone seen the Mothman?
I wonder if people have seen the Mothman, but then nobody had heard from them again.
Yeah, you're right. He was like, you know what? I'm tired of warning you guys about these events. You all you do is freak out about me, so screw it.
Yeah.
You know what, Mothman? If you're listening, I'll listen to you, and I won't freak out. I'll be your homie. I'll even give you a friendship bracelet. Retweet hashtag Mothman friend.
Oh, okay, so going back to the book, I'm fascinated by the bridge thing. According to the book by that John Keel, he said that Point Pleasant residents experienced precognitions of the collapse of the Silver Bridge and in an unidentified flying object sightings. Visits from inhuman or threatening men in black and other phenomena before the bridge collapsed.
You know what? I remember seeing something about that where people talked about like guys in black suits came to them and they were asking them questions and threatening them.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Right.
But at the same time,
Mothman.
if you lived in the area and there's a bridge there and you drive on it a lot and it's very easy to have a bad dream about that bridge that you're on a whole lot, like collapsing while you're on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just so happens that sometime afterwards a tragedy happens and that bridge actually does collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
True.
I don't know. I think we have to ask Richard Gere.
Just got to ask him.
Yeah, see what he thinks about all this.
Mm-hmm. You think he's got to connect with the Mothman?
Yeah, I believe he played the author in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At the very least, I might have to watch the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna have to be a thing. Do a whole review on the Mothman prophecies.
Yeah.
I just seen a cute little clip on YouTube while like I was doing my research on the Mothman. It was just like, so basically it was like this little girl's just friends with the Mothman. He's just chilling in her barn. And the Mothman was just goofy. He didn't do nothing angry or anything. He was just like afraid of people. He's like that's why he flew away from people. Yeah, he had big red eyes and he had like a giant wingspan. But he wasn't evil or nothing. He just didn't like people because people were mean.
Yeah. Was this like an animation or was this like a sighting?
Yeah, it was an
Oh,
animation.
okay. I was gonna say.
It was adorable. It was like a 4 minute little clip.
Yeah.
If it was a sighting, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say like, whoa,
girlfriend,
that should be
Mothman,
that should be some news, you know? Like,
right?
yeah.
I feel like the men in black suits would grab that little girl and be like, "We need your info on the Mothman."
Yeah.
It's all right. Someone's friends out there with the Mothman, and we'll find out one day. They'll give us the deets on him.
He might be laying low since there's this festival and stuff now.
Yeah, true. But what if he likes the festival? What if he like hides in plain sight and like goes to the festival because he likes people celebrating him?
Yeah, maybe. They get 10 to 12,000 people per year.
And like, imagine you're at that festival, everyone's just celebrating, just being wild and stuff, and then like the real Mothman just drops down in a plaza. Do you think people are gonna celebrate it, or are they gonna freak out?
Hmm. I think people would celebrate it, or think it was like some kind of, you know. Would the people at the thing think it was real or not? Or would they think it was like
True.
something done by the festival?
Exactly. Until we did something crazy, and then we'd get the reactions we'd want to
Yeah.
see.
Hmm.
Like if he ate a German Shepherd in front of the people,
Yeah, there you go.
then they'd freak out.
Why that specific breed of dog? That's interesting.
I don't know. When I was looking it up, people say he likes to eat German Shepherds, and I'm like, maybe it's a tangy taste or something for him.
Don't they get pretty big?
Yeah, German Shepherds are pretty big dogs.
Yeah.
So that shows that he has to be a big creature to be able to take down a German Shepherd easily and eat it.
Hmm. I don't know.
Mothman. I mean, there's also states that he eats people occasionally too. So there's that.
Have there been like unexplained deaths?
Disappearances. No. People just like, people just saying, I feel like he eats people.
Ah.
I'm like, hmm. People just putting my man Mothman's name in the dirt, trying to get him in trouble for no reason. I know you're good, Mothman. I know you're a good dude.
There's another legend that says that the Mothman was nothing more than the creation of one very committed prankster who went so far as to hide in the abandoned World War II munitions plant where many of the sightings occurred.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But the only thing with that would be more believable now today, like with the technology we have. But how would that be possible back in the day when you don't really have that much technology to pull off a big prank like that, like something huge flying around? Like today, you could use like Like some people, you get a drone, a big enough drone, put a big enough costume on there, and you can make it look like there's a real Mothman. But now, like back then,
Yeah,
I feel like that'd be very hard.
even so, like that makes a lot of that makes the noise of a drone, like you'll hear it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because those things aren't quiet.
Freaking loud.
Yeah.
But like back in the days, like 1966 and stuff, like is the person the first Mothman sighting, is that person still alive?
Um, I don't know. It says that they were a young couple in 1967, so it's conceivable that they're still alive pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. They're out on Makeout Mountain, and the Mothman cock blocked them. He was like, "You're not getting none. Get off this mountain. This is my mountain here, Mothman." I don't know, man. The Mothman is out there. It's not letting people get none either. Maybe because he's by himself. If he's alone, maybe. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
what we need to know. Is there more than one Mothman? Or are there multiple out there?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, that's the thing with cryptids. People always say there's seems to only be one. I'm like, that makes no sense. How did that one thing just appear?
Right.
I feel like there has to be multiple of it.
Yeah, that's always the problem, because it's like, well, how could that many people just see one thing? And also, how does it exist if there's just one of them?
Mm-hmm.
And how does it survive if there's just one of them?
Yeah, like, I mean, if there's just one of them, it would explain why it's so elusive to catch.
Right.
Compared, but even then, slash what I just said, because there are, like, there are animals out there where there's a decent amount of them, but they're very elusive and hard to be seen by people.
Yeah, there's like so many contradictions that it makes the idea of it, being this urban legend work, because so many of the details contradict each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like even in the original story, they said that it could fly 100 miles per hour. How the hell did these two, like 20 somethings?
Do they have a speed gun?
Yeah, they have no idea what 100 miles an hour looks like. I don't even know what 100 miles an hour looks like, and and cars didn't even go that fast back then.
Yeah. You know what it was? That you're like, we gotta throw a big number on there to make people freak out. Like, 100 miles an hour is pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's like, no, get out of here.
The way it went down is they said that it was moving really fast, and then the reporter said, well, how fast do you think it was going? And they said, oh, it was probably like 100 miles an hour, but then at the same time, they admitted that it, quote, makes for a clumsy runner on the ground. So there's like too many contradictions in this story that like anything could be. It could be anything.
They probably had something to go do that day, and they needed an excuse to get out of it. So they were like, you know what, we're gonna blame the Mothman. This is why we.
They just wanted to get out of their dinner plans.
They just had to get out of some plans, and they just were like, you know what, Mothman's a good enough excuse, and people will believe it, so we'll be good. Just say Mothman, and everyone will believe it.
We're gonna invent this creature, so we don't have to go to dinner at our in-laws.
Yeah, right. I'm so sorry I couldn't make your wedding. The Mothman, man. Like, he's just flying around 100 miles an hour, but he's a clumsy walker. He couldn't walk for that much, but he was flying real fast. Then he looked at me with those big red eyes, and I got dazed, and then I forgot about your wedding. Oh, these people making excuses probably just had plans that they just wanted to get out of. See, people blaming Mothman. Mothman is innocent. Gaslighting my dude. That's why he doesn't appear in front of us. It's because he's tired of getting blamed for everything. He was like, every time I show up, people want to blame me and put me as the reason for something. That's why he's not coming out.
Yeah. Oh, here might be where the German Shepherd thing comes from. This is one of the early sightings. One sighting reported by Salem, West Virginia resident Newell Patridge of strange patterns that appeared on his television screen one evening, followed by a mysterious sound just outside his home. Shining a flashlight toward the direction of the noise, Partridge supposedly witnessed two red eyes resembling bicycle reflectors looking back at him. And this anecdote remains a popular one in the Mothman mythos, especially because it resulted in the disappearance of Partridge's dog, supposedly in the clutches of the fearsome beast. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say what kind of dog it was, but his dog disappeared. I just like the fact that the eyes resembled bicycle reflectors.
Yeah, right.
So they were probably bicycle reflectors.
And his dog just got loose. It was like, you know what? I don't like this guy. I know he's going to blame the Mothman if I disappear, so, perfect timing.
Maybe the simplest explanation is the right one. Somebody ran over his dog with a bicycle.
True.
Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just that.
Someone ran his dog over with a bicycle?
That's
probably what it is.
That's just it. If you see something that looks like bicycle reflectors, it's probably bicycle reflectors.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get freaked out by some bicycle reflectors. Even if they were huge bicycle reflectors, I'm like, all right, bicycle reflectors.
Man.
People. All right, I got one. Apparently, there is one that happened like on a Friday in September, like September 30th in 2011, around like the Miller Park area in the University Park neighborhood in Chicago. So it basically goes like this. Things began like any normal Friday. I and a couple of friends were going to go out to have a few drinks at a local bar. As I got to my apartment, I jumped into the shower to start getting ready, while my roommate went to her room to get ready. I finished and walked out the bathroom to my room and started to get ready to head out for the night. As I started to get dressed, I heard my roommate scream loudly. I dropped what I was doing and ran to her room to see if it was all right. I walked in to see her cowering in the corner of her room, white as a ghost and shaking. She was babbling hysterically, saying that something was looking in at her from the window, so the Mothman's a peeper. I looked towards the window and didn't see anything but the light coming from the other apartment across the courtyard. I asked what she had seen and tried to tell her that she might have been mistaken. We live on the 3rd floor of a 5-story apartment building, and there is nothing outside the window but a 30-foot drop straight down into the courtyard below. My roommate was hysterical and scared out of her wits. I took her to the living room and sat her on the couch. I then went to my room and put on the robe. So was she just nude while helping her? I mean, I guess. Yeah, she's a solid friend. She's like, you know what? Screw putting clothes on. I'm going to save my friend. Or a nightshirt. Nonsense. I was only in my under. Oh, so she was in a nude. So Mothman got 2 peeps. All right. My roommate didn't want to be left alone and actually followed me to my room and waited there as I put on a robe and joined her in the living room. After about 20 minutes of calming her down, she finally told me what she had seen in her window. She stated that she was getting dressed, and when she turned to face the mirror on her dresser, she saw a pair of orange eyes, so they're switching up the color, staring at her from the windows. She turned around to see 2 brightly lit orange eyes staring out at her. These eyes were attached to a creature that were staring back at her through the window. My friend lost it and started screaming hysterically and backed herself into the corner, she said. She was filled with the overwhelming feeling of complete and total terror. She felt like the creature was looking at her as though she was prey. Peeping Mothman. She said she felt like a rabbit that was about to be pounced upon it by an eagle. I tried to rationalize with her what she had seen, telling her it could have been an optical illusion, or maybe it was just the jitters from the week of hard studying. Too much Adderall. She dismissed everything, saying that she had seen what she had seen. As I sat there comforting her, my cell phone rang from my room. I got up and ran to my room and snatched it from the dresser top and answered it. It was my boyfriend.
I thought it was going to be the Mothman. I really thought it was going to be the
Mothman.
Mothman.
Hey, it's Mothman. I'm sorry about scaring your friend. I just saw that she dropped something, and I just want to let her know I wasn't peeping. I'm just being a guy. Oh gosh. And let me where I left off. So ran up. It was my boyfriend. One of his buddies, and they were talking a mile a minute. It sounded like they were out of breath, and as they tried to get him to slow down, I walked past my roommate's open door. Into my absolute horror, I saw a pair of glowing red eyes. So are there two? One with orange and red eyes? Looking through the window, right at me. They stared at me for about 3-4 seconds before whatever it was abruptly left. Like my friend, I totally lost it and screamed at the top of my lungs and sprinted to the living room. My boyfriend was now screaming into the phone, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" Within 2 minutes, he and his best friend were pounding on the door to our apartment. Would they have seen it if they were outside the apartment building? Followed shortly thereafter by one of our neighbors who had heard us screaming. Once we assured the neighbors that we're fine and we did not have to call the CPD for us, we shut the door and I immediately lost it when my boyfriend helped me. He told him these people. Maybe Mothman needs caught. He's peeping on people. Trying to get seconds.
With those big old eyes.
Right? Big old eyes trying to see all the things.
What
we
big
told
eyes
him
you
what
have?
my roommate had seen. Right? Had seen in the window, and whatever it was had come back again to get a second look. That's when I had seen it. He then began to tell us that he and his buddy were on their way to our apartment to pick us up when they had seen what they described as a large bat with large glowing eyes. It was perched on top of the basketball hoop in the neighborhood park. I feel like multiple people would have seen that though.
Yeah.
They stated that it saw them and it had aligned into the air with an audible whoosh. He states that there were about 6 people in the park and all of them had seen it. And when it had taken off, he states that there was no way anyone could have missed it. It was about 6 to 7 feet tall, dark gray to black, and those eyes glowed with an intensity of 2 glowing embers. He says that they saw it easily when it took off and hid away from the park due to both the lights of the city as well as the nearly full moon that night. They lost sight of the creature after 5 seconds. That's why it flies 100 miles an hour. That's when he picked up the phone and called me. He says that when they heard me start screaming, they sprinted the block in half to the apartment. Needless to say, none of us went out that night, and they probably needed those drinks after that. And my boyfriend and his buddy stayed with us through the weekend. My roommate refused to go back to her room till as well after daylight. She closed and locked the window and drew the blinds shut. She saw that it's the only way that she felt secure to be in there after dark. I'm still wary about coming home or going out after dark, even though I know I have to do it for both school and work. I hope that whatever it was sufficiently scared off by those 2 insanely screaming college students, and that I hope that I'll never see it again. I don't think that neither I nor my roommate will ever be the same again after this. There is one interesting fact my boyfriend told me when I saw him on Tuesday that a few students around the campus, UIC, had been talking about. A large bat that some people had seen on Friday night. A lot of people who spoke about it were spooked by it. I never figured that anything like this would or be seen in a city as large as Chicago or a campus as busy and bustling as UIC. Maybe the Mothman just wants a degree. He wants to do things in his life. That's why he left West Virginia, came to Chicago, just trying to go to school, just live his life.
Let Mothman learn.
Make better of himself. Yeah, let him learn. And it totally makes me wonder what it truly was. If it was, if it meant to harm us. Oh, God. These stories. You know what I mean?
Mothman creepypasta.
From what I can tell from that story, the Mothman's either a peeper. Well, no, he's a peeper. He's going to college. And he likes chilling on basketball hoops. And he might have orange eyes instead of red eyes.
Ball is life.
Ball is life, right?
Yeah.
He got a basketball degree. I mean, he got a basketball scholarship. That's why he's going there to school. And he just wanted to tell him, yo, you should probably close your blinds. There's some peepers out there. And they thought he was the peeper.
Ugh.
See, this is why he doesn't come out. He's tired of getting blamed and scaring people.
Yeah, it's just he's got nothing but warnings. He's just trying to. He's like Smokey the Bear, but you know, about
A lot freakier looking with big glowing red eyes. Or orange.
he's
Or orange.
Yeah, only you can prevent devastating tragedies.
Or peeping
Toms. Man, but I like that. We should have a creepypasta for every monster we do.
Yeah, I kind of like that part. Like a nice little, a lengthy story, sort of lengthy story to go with it. And
Yeah, that's good.
oh, poor Mothman.
Oh man,
I believe you're innocent, bro. If I was on the jury and you were, I'd be like, he's not guilty. Let that man go.
I think your bias would show. They'd kick you off in jury selection. I don't know.
True, you're right. They'd be like, you like the Mothman too much. I'm like, what lets you know that? I mean, your Mothman t-shirt and your Mothman poster. I'm like, because he deserves rights. Read the name, Mothman. Meaning he's a human. He has rights.
All men are created equal.
Equal, right?
All Mothmen.
Are equal. Even if they have giant wings and glowing red eyes. Oh. We need to get some business from the Mothman. Give him some good light. Make people think good thoughts about him instead of being freaked out by him or thinking he's a peeping Tom. Unless he is a peeping Tom, then I retract my positive outlook on the Mothman.
Then we gotta cancel the Mothman.
You're right. Hashtag cancel Mothman. Mothman bad.
Oh man.
These stories. It'd be now. Watch him. Now we're gonna see the Mothman. He's gonna fly all the way from Chicago. I mean, he must save money on these airline fees, because he can just fly.
Oh, sure, yeah.
100 miles an hour, you know what I mean? So he doesn't need to catch a plane or anything. He'll drop past over here in Pittsburgh, then he'll hit to Jersey after, and he'll have a discussion with us.
I mean, yeah, he's hanging out in Chicago. He's hanging out in Moscow. He's globetrotting.
He's just seeing the world.
He's jet setting. He's got the life.
Yeah, right.
He's hanging out. He's hanging out with college chicks. He's got it. He's got it figured out.
Hoop, making dunks.
Yeah.
Eating people's dogs, or maybe he saved that dog. He saved that dog. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think we know the full story.
Saved that dog. Yeah,
we only got one side of the story.
We didn't get the other side of the story. That dog's probably living it up with Mothman. Mothman and his dog.
Yeah. Or got hit by a bike.
We'll soon get sightings of a giant bat bird-like creature with a dog on its back, flying around at 100 miles per hour.
And that's the kind of buddy cop movie I'd watch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I would love to watch Mothman and Dog save the world.
Oh.
That is a movie we need. I would rather watch that than the freaking Tiger King. Oh my god, that nonsense.
That was, oh my god.
I have not watched it. We need Mothman to go stop those people, Joe Exotic and goddamn Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
Mothman, do us a solid and save the world. Save those big cats down in Florida.
Yes, we have to watch Tiger King. I did watch it, but we should not get into that. Because we do not need to get into Tiger King, because that'll be a whole nother thing.
That'll be a whole set. We could save that for another week.
We could, yeah, we should do that. Put in that.
It sucks because me and Tori tried watching it, and within the 10-15 minutes, because I'm I love animals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really do. I think animals are awesome. They're a lot better than people sometimes. They're chill. I like animals, you know what I mean? So it's watching it and seeing. This is when I stopped watching it. When Carol Baskin was talking bad about a Joe Exotic, she was like, he has animals in cages.
Yeah.
Proceeds to see animal in cage, in tinier cage, for a fact, right next to her. And I'm just like, you have it in a cage.
Oh,
and it's a smaller cage.
You don't even
what
know.
What are you talking about?
Okay, you don't even know what goes on. Oh my god. And yeah, we can't get into it. We can't get.
Next week, I'll watch it and we'll give it.
Yeah.
We'll have a Dead End Road TV special and freaking.
That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll talk about it. Yeah. Oh man.
Back to the main man, Mothman, because Mothman's not like them.
No, not at all.
He doesn't hurt big cats.
Just big dogs.
Just big dogs. Just big dogs. That's all he does. And he peeps on college students while dunking on other kids up in Chicago.
Oh man.
Maybe he just likes that windy weather. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Likes to feel the wind through his wings.
Yeah, his antennas.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He just wants to go out exploring and people just won't let him. Alright, so guys, if you have any Mothman sightings, make sure to be nice to him, because he's probably just doing you a solid. He's not a bad guy.
Yeah, if you got Mothman creepypasta, I would love to see it. Yeah. That'd be great.
Most definitely. Post it down in the comments for wherever where all the streaming services that have comments. You can just post in the comments. Let us know the stories you know.
Or email video@deadendroad.co. You do that too.
All right. Until next time.
All right. Take it easy. Stay safe.
Peace out. Stay away from Mothman.